Hi, I'm Brian King, and this is Marriage Monday. Today, I want to talk to you about a topic and a subject that literally changed our marriage. What happened was we found out that we have different personalities. Well, not so much that we found out that we had different personalities, we knew that from the beginning, but we found out what those personalities were and what the tendencies were for those personalities. And um, it changed everything. It made a huge impact on us. So I want to share a little bit about it today, and I want to encourage you to find a personality test and program that you can take with your spouse and determine what your personality is and then compare it to hers. And I'm going to share some stories and kind of show you how come it's important. So hang in with me for a minute. I know I found this topic kind of dull and boring until I got to a point where I saw that my wife's personality made total sense. It really clicked when I said, yep, that's her. And when in the description, when the results came in. And after a while, I figured out that I had a personality too. You know, you don't really want to admit that you kind of fall into a cubby hole, and you don't. Everybody's different. There are as many personalities as there are people, but there are tendencies that we all fall into and categories that we all fall into. And the program that I'm talking about that really worked for us, there's dozens of them out there. But the one that really clicked for Ann and I, and we still talk about it today, even though we went and looked at it years and years ago, is Danny Johnson's GEMS program. Now, it's all proprietary, so I can't really share a lot of the details, but I'm going to share kind of the results that we got from it. And I'm going to encourage you to look into this one or another one, just so that you can know what your personality is, what your wife's personality is, and why it makes a difference. Like I said, for me, it clicked when I saw that she took her test and it came out perfect. It came out exactly what I expected. Danny Johnson GEMS program divides the personalities into 5 overall categories, well, 4 overall categories, and then there's another 4 because you can kind of combine it with the other ones. And she uses gemstones. So she has a sapphire, a ruby, an emerald, and a pearl. And then you can be like a sapphire pearl or no, that's the one you can't do. You can be like a sapphire ruby or an emerald pearl, but you can't be the exact opposites. So anyway, what really clicked for me was that I found out my wife is a ruby and I am an emerald. Sounds perplexing, but let's kind of dig into it a little bit. Rubies are the driven achievers. They're competitive, bold, and goal-oriented. Yep, that's her. And the emerald is the detailed-oriented thinker. They're precise, analytical, and organized. I kind of like that. You know, that's the good side of it. And it works out great for us, especially when we travel. She's the one that makes travel fun. I'm the one that makes sure we get there in one piece. And because I take care of the details. But she is fun to travel with. And it really works out well. We really share a lot. Once we knew, you know, the thing about personalities is it's the differences that initially attracted us, but it's also the differences that can get in the way. And I don't know about you, but when I see somebody acting in a different way than I am programmed or kind of thinking that you should act, I immediately think that's wrong. And the GEMS program, one of the things that it showed both of us was that it's not wrong, it's just different. And it's different for a reason. And it works out really good because, like I said, we travel well together. When we combine our personalities, we make really good decisions. When we just, like one of us makes a decision, we can go off the rails. But when we combine our knowledge and our personalities, we make really good decisions, like buying a car. My wife is a little more impulsive than I am. She basically picked the car that she wanted to get based on the fact that a friend of hers had one and recommended it. I'm analytical and, as you recall, I'm precise, analytical, and organized. And basically, I made sure that it was going to be a good car for us. That it got good gas mileage, had good reviews. I helped pick out what features we wanted and all the little details. She just knew she liked the car because her friend had one. And we took our time and we ended up with the car we have now, and we both like it. So that's the good side of it. Not that there's a bad side, but sometimes the motivations can get in the way. Like a Ruby is motivated by success, challenge, and leadership. And the Emerald is motivated by facts, logic, and doing things the right way. I don't know if you could hear a problem in there, but for us, how this manifested was she was always one step ahead of me. I was always kind of coming along, but at first it really annoyed her that it took me longer to make decisions. And it's because I'm being more analytical than she is. I start with the premise, everything's a scam. And she starts with the premise, this might be a great opportunity. And we meet in the middle, we eliminate the scams, and because they're not good opportunities, and then we find the opportunities because they're not scams. So it kind of works out. But we had to learn that. And part of the frustration for her was she would get impatient. Her idea, her motivation, and the quality of her personality is she wants to get things done, and she wants to inspire action. And that can come across as controlling or impatient, especially when I'm busy looking at all the details and trying to make decisions based on a lot of information. For instance, when she shops, she goes to one store, finds what she wants, spends a lot of time looking in that one store, but I will find what I want in one store, leave it there, go to another store, and compare it, and then decide. Drives her crazy. But now she knows that that's what's going to happen, so she expects it. And I know that when she shops for something, that it's going to go down a different way. So it's okay. We kind of make allowances for it. And I think part of it is because we have a self-awareness, not only a self-awareness, but an awareness that, different isn't wrong, it's just different, and that she's going to approach things from a different attitude, and I'm going to approach things from a different attitude. It really comes down to that self-awareness. Her tendency is to be out ahead. My tendency is to kind of wait and go a little slower. So it works great because kind of like she's the kite and I'm the kite string because I'm always pulling her back in. And she's also giving a pull on me because we meet in the middle and it works out. And because we know what our personalities are, we can accept each other's differences and capitalize on them because we know that we need each other. And she is willing to wait a little longer because she knows the answer's coming. And I know that she needs me to be a little faster and speed up sometimes. Before, it just annoyed us because we didn't know that it was a personality issue. So I would highly recommend the Danny Johnson material just because it's fun and it's funny and it's interesting. Some of the others, there's other good ones, but that's the one that really clicked for us. And like I said, when I said that, it made a huge difference in our marriage. It really did, because we will talk to each other in those terms, and we'll talk about, what personalities our children are and what personalities our friends are and why it makes a difference and how we interact with them based on that. there's a lot of differences that we can recognize, like I said, be self-aware of, and then integrate into our marriage and make it better. Like, because I know that she's a Ruby, I can make allowances and just have expectations of how she's going to react to different things. And because she knows that I'm an Emerald, she has the same attitude. She knows what she can expect, and she capitalizes on it and makes sure that we're in it together. So I'm going to spend some more time talking about this, but like I said, I would highly recommend that you find out what your spouse's personality is, what their personality towards money is, what their personality towards children is, what their personality towards just life in general, and how they react to different things. And then figure out also what your personality is, and then kind of note where the overlaps are and where the clashing is. Once you know and you're aware of it, you can make allowances for the other person. And it makes it so much easier because you don't just have to fix it. You know, it's not a personality disorder, it's their personality. It's not wrong, it's just different. And you can work with that. It gave us a super, super tool for our marriage. And I can't recommend it highly enough. So anyway, that's Nuts and Bolts Day of Marriage Monday. Super important to determine your personality, your spouse's personality, and then work with it. That's it for today. We're going to talk more about it, and I can give you some more information down the road, but that's where we're starting. Talk to you next time.